Human rights violations and impacts on nations and governance systems reveals that the economic power of multinational corporations, MNCs, often exceeds that of many national economies, as 51 of the world's 100 largest economies are corporations, granting them profound influence over government policies, legislation, and human rights, a power that leads to environmental destruction, labor exploitation, and political corruption, particularly in developing countries where regulatory frameworks are weak and dependence on foreign investment is high, through lobbying, bribery, and facilitating state repression. MNCs not only violate fundamental human rights, but also distort democratic institutions, perpetuating inequality, exclusion, and social injustice. In Nigeria's Niger Delta Royal Dutch, Shell's activities in the 1990s exemplify grave human rights violations where the Ogoni tribe, under the Movement for the Survival of the Ogoni People founded in 1990 by renowned writer and activist Ken Saro-Wiwa, protested against oil spills and gas flaring. Yet Shell's operations severely polluted Ogoni agricultural lands, fishing areas, and water sources, leading to increased cancer and respiratory diseases, and Shell collaborated with General Sani Abacha's authoritarian regime by providing logistical support to military troops responsible for attacks on Ogoni villages, culminating in the execution of the Ogoni Nine, including Ken Saro-Wiwa on November 10, 1995, and although Shell settled for $15.5 million in 2009, Amnesty International's 2017 report confirmed the company's complicit involvement in Africa. Nestle's marketing of baby formula in the 1970s and 1980s is another heartbreaking example of health rights violations where the company promoted formula through milk nurses and bribed health workers, leading to increased infant mortality due to formula prepared with contaminated water, and despite the WHO adopting marketing codes in 19... Nestle's violations continued. In Ecuador's Amazon rainforests, Chevron's activities dumped 16 billion gallons of toxic waste into rivers affecting indigenous tribes. And although Ecuadorian courts awarded a judgment of $9.5 billion, Chevron avoided payment by selling assets and evading accountability through international tribunals. In the context of global health, Bayer Monsanto's Roundup pesticide, based on glyphosate, posed cancer risks, and the company manipulated scientific studies, resulting in billions of dollars in settlements. Yet the company influenced legislation through lobbying regarding impacts on governance systems. MNCs undermine democratic processes through lobbying and political donations, as seen in the U.S. Citizens United ruling, linking corporate spending to free speech. And in developing countries, global value chains exploit weak institutions, such as in Nigeria, where political parties colluded with MNCs, and in Bangladesh, where the Rana Plaza collapse exposed safety violations, killing 1,134 workers. Logically, the influence of MNCs weakens democratic processes as they prioritize corporate interests over public welfare. And according to a World Bank report, global value chains increase economic inequality. As a path to accountability and reform, UN guiding principles and laws in France and Germany demand supply chain monitoring, while the EU directive also imposes penalties. But reforms must include banning corporate political donations and establishing international tribunals so that through global solidarity human rights can be prioritized over capitalist profits.